The hospital told me that my daughter was brain dead and they wanted to remove her off life support. And I said no, my daughter is not dead.
We're saying that they have every right and should have every right to provide this girl with a chance to see if in fact she can improve. If doctors are wrong, they're wrong all the time.
And it was like it took a minute for it just to really just grasp, but the first response was, what? Like, what is you talking about? Who is you talking about? You're not talking about Jihad.
Because this is not about medical charts and probabilities. This is about a human being that a family loves.
I was aware of Jihad's situation and the family, what they're going through. I was reading about it. It was starting to make a lot of news, and people were reaching out to us, making us aware of the case, and asking if we were going to help, and please help this girl. It was right about then that I got a phone call from Jihad's family's attorney.
Jihad was supposed to get a tonsillectomy and her adenoids removed, and I took her to the doctor. He suggested that he do both at the same time. Jihad did not want to get it done. She told me she didn't have a good feeling about it. They told me ICU was the safest place in the hospital that you can be. She came out of recovery, she talked, I gave her a popsicle. The only thing she complained of, she said her throat hurt. And when she got to ICU, she started to bleed a lot. And I asked for help, and everybody seemed like they were really busy. Their way of treating her was giving me more napkins and a bigger bucket for her to bleed into. They never called the doctor. And at this point, she could still write notes. And she was writing, why is no one helping us? Why are the nurses not helping us? She bled so much that she went to cardiac arrest and her heart stopped.
They said half of her brain was brain dead. And then they called us in again on the 12th and said that she was 100% brain dead and that there was nothing else that they can do.
I went to her room and I called her name, and she threw both of her hands in the air. And I knew my daughter was not dead because I didn't touch her, I just called her name.
She's starting to have more body movement within herself, of her moving her entire body and her shoulders now, not just wiggling her feet or her toes. Her arms and shoulders are starting to move. So it looks like she's showing signs of life.
The hospital was not nice about it. They told us, your daughter is dead, what don't you understand? And from that point on, I had to fight the hospital.
If this hospital wants to terminate Jihad's life, they should go to court and get a judge to authorize that, not pressure a parent into signing a document in the middle of the night.
I went to state court and federal court to keep my daughter alive because the hospital told me I had no more rights to her. It was up to them whether they would pull the plug or not. They did not need my permission. And I told them, do not pull the plug on my daughter. I went and got legal representation, and for 28 days, I fought to keep my daughter on the ventilator. And they did not feed her for the whole 28 days that she was there. No food, no medicine. I watched my daughter starve.
There's probably 6 or 7 of us really working together and bringing our own certain expertise to the table, so to speak, to try and help rescue her from Children's Hospital in Oakland, because they were doing what they could to end Jihad's life.
I wanted to transfer my daughter out when I found out they were not going to treat her and not going to give her any food or medicine. They could not release her to any hospital. They said no, she's a coroner's case. Once she got the death certificate, her medical benefits got cut off. So now she's just incurring a lot of medical bills.
The parents wanted time to see if their daughter could get better, and we felt they should have been afforded that time. This decision to kill Jihad was made rather quickly.
We've been helping them. We put a team together and we're doing everything we can to try and find a facility that'll take Jihad to help her, to see if there's a chance that she might improve.
And so I'm very grateful for the hospital that did accept my daughter. And I'm very grateful for the surgeons that did look at her as a 13-year-old girl and not a dead person.
There was Angela Clemente, Allison Sherry, and Kate DeMiglio from New Beginnings facility. There was Steve Sanborn, there was Dr. Paul Byrne, there was Dr. Davenport, and of course there was Dr. Lanfranchi.
Jahai is doing so much better physically, and it just feels so good to be able to kiss her and talk to her and let her know how many people love her and are praying for her.
How long will you as a family persevere?
Right now, we're just taking it one day at a time. You know, we're happy that she's where she is right now, that we were able to remove her safely from Children's Hospital. And right now, we're just going to take it one day at a time.
For all the people that donated, you know, they were part of the main reason of how Jahai even got to the position that she's in. Because without them, we wouldn't have been able to do it. You know, the support is like strong and it's very appreciated.
Families don't even realize how much help they need until they come into the situation. And if it wasn't for organizations like Life and Hope and just different people that we've come across, my daughter would not be living.
This can happen to anybody at any moment. And you know, now that we see how much help that was behind the scenes that we was getting, it just, you know, that's why we really appreciate that there's people out there, you know, like the Terri Schiavo Foundation.
It's almost like I'm getting an award for doing something that I feel like every mother should have in their heart to do.
Jahai is a very humble, very quiet child. She listens to her mom. She takes care of her little 5-year-old sister.
Jahai always smiles. Even if she's getting in trouble, she still smiles. She's just so sweet. She has a good heart.
We are still doing what we can in the hopes of establishing a rehabilitation center for people with profound brain injuries in the Philadelphia area. If we had a facility like the one we intend to establish, we could have rescued Jahai much quicker than it took for her to be rescued from the California hospital. Yeah, we've been doing this since 2005, and we would not be where we are today if it wasn't for so many people out there supporting us. But we continue to need your support because there's so much more that needs to be done. And we need those angels, we need the people to continue to support our efforts, helping our most vulnerable.
I was amazed when I met the whole team that helped my daughter. And for them to have that much love for a family that they never met, for a little girl that they didn't know, it just blew me away. We're just waiting for Jahai to wake up.